Hey everybody, we're back here in the kitchen. Today we're going to try two kinds of tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce specifically, from two kinds of tomatoes. So we had our heirloom and other tomato tests yesterday, and I used those tomatoes to make a tomato sauce, but I also wanted to compare them to my standard Roma tomatoes. I've always grown Roma tomatoes because they're the go-to for sauce and salsa. But now I'm growing a lot of other varieties, and I just want to see if I can use all of those varieties to make a really awesome sauce like we always have. So Craig's here with me, and we're going to try two different kinds of spaghetti sauce. I took exactly the same amount of sauce with exactly the same amount of seasonings. I don't know if it's any good because I just kind of guessed on the seasonings and I haven't tasted it at all. But we're going to compare the two. If it's icky, it's probably the amount of seasonings I put in, but I just want to know which one's better. And I'll tell you which is which after the taste test. Which one do you want to try first?
This one.
This one. Okay. So taste test number one. If you want to see, this one's a little bit darker. That's kind of sweet.
I like it.
I like it too. I didn't put any sugar in any of these. I didn't do anything to cut the acidity. It is pretty sweet. I do like it. I want to try a little bit with some Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm used to. So maybe it's really not that sweet. I'm just used to having a little cheese on it. Don't put any on the second kind yet though. So all that's in here is the tomatoes and the herbs. Take one more bite.
It's good.
That's really good. Yeah. There are, I didn't core these. I think I cored those, but I definitely didn't take the skins off, and you can see there are skins in here, but you can't notice them at all. I'm just gonna take a little sip to cleanse my palate. I'm just having a little Pinot Grigio. Craig's having what?
Founders Mosaic Promise. In stores now. It's only for the fall and winter.
Okay, ready for number two. This definitely has more traditional spaghetti flavor.
This is better.
We're talking about this one.
I know. I'm just saying.
It is kind of sweet. Not as sweet as the first one. I would say it's maybe a little bit bland. I think it does stick to the noodles a little bit better. So maybe it's a hair thicker. It does taste more like regular spaghetti sauce though.
Or does it? No sugar.
Well, yeah, there's no sugar in either one of them though.
Better with the cheese.
It is better with the cheese.
First one. My favorite. Wow. This is definitely tangier. More tang to it.
Tang. We're just gonna eat here because they're both really good.
Right.
All right, well,
Very fresh. Very good.
here is the results. The first one we tried with the darker color was the mix of multiple different kinds of tomatoes. I think that I did have to boil them down a little bit longer to get the same consistency as the Romas, but the flavor is so much more complex and so much more robust. But it doesn't taste like regular spaghetti sauce. I think it tastes better, but it's not the traditional. My overall thought is I would definitely not shy away from canning these, and I would probably prefer the multiple varieties. Mostly they're heirloom tomatoes. 12 varieties of tomatoes, mostly heirloom. Must have been good. What's your consensus?
It's sweeter, so it tastes more like store-bought.
You think
But
so?
it has no sugar. It'd be like if you added maybe a carrot to the other one, you might get the same amount of sweetness or something.
Well, that's the other thing is, this recipe that I use with aromas normally calls for a little bit of sugar, and I don't like to add sugar because I really don't like the sweet flavor.
Yeah.
So I might actually, I don't know, if I had to eat a whole plate of this kind, maybe it would be too sweet. I don't know.
I like it. And I like that it doesn't have any sugar.
Yeah.
Which raises
That's not,
calories.
I don't feel like it's too sweet at all.
I'd make both and I'd eat
Maybe
both
you do.
because it's nice to have both.
Well, we're gonna have both, so either way.
I like it. I think it's nice that
But
you
in
can make
future
good sauce out of it.
years, well, I've even thought about not growing Romas anymore because you put a lot of time and effort into them, and they're susceptible to things like blossom end rot, where you can lose a third of your plant's tomatoes in the first part of the season. They're not as super easy to grow, and most of the heirloom varieties that I put in here are indeterminate varieties, so that means they're gonna grow all season until the weather takes them out. Romas will all kind of ripen and grow in at once, which makes them, they're really great for canning because you can get all your canning done within a few weeks, couple weeks. Whereas Romas or indeterminate tomatoes will be more like our pickles, our cucumbers, where we're canning them all summer long in small batches. So I still think I would miss just kind of having them all at once, but definitely not afraid of making some sauce out of
I
that.
think it's really cool that you can make that.
Yeah.
I like it. I think you should can both.
Yeah, we'll have to try the same thing with salsa. That might be a little bit different. And
Pico
definitely,
de gallo.
I definitely don't like salsa with any kind of sweetness in it. One more thing we could try is if we make the combined varieties with the sweeter tomatoes, maybe we add a little spice to it. Or even, even if it's not a jalapeno, maybe it's just a bell pepper or something else to kind of cut that sweetness.
Nanapito.
It fooled you, jalapeno.
Yeah,
That's what that one is.
jalapeno. No heat.
Yep.
Good for my eggs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ooh, breakfast at work tomorrow. I'm bringing a couple.
You should just chomp on them in front of the guys.
No, I'll put them in the eggs.
Okay. That's it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.
See ya.